Hello and welcome to the Hotkeys podcast, your shortcut to various opinions on all things pop culture. This is your episode for the week of December the 7th, 2023, a day that will live in infamy. Joining me today is
Landon Browning,
Wil Dobratz.
And that's it. Colby and Michael are busy tonight, so it's just the three of us. So we're actually going to save any of our cruise talk for another time when the rest of the gang is back.
We could have just told him, like, yeah, they died. They didn't make it.
Yeah, Michael pushed
Colby and Cabo.
Michael pushed Colby off the
Vallarta.
ship, but they grabbed on at the same time, so they both tumbled 20 decks below. Well, I guess the surface of the water is at like deck 5, so if you're on the 20th, then you're only falling 15 stories instead of 20. So they probably lived.
Would you
for a while?
No. I mean, maybe like it's a long way to fall, but like if they fell like one on top of the other, would the first person absorb most of the impact of the water? Is that how that works? I don't understand science, so.
I don't think it matters.
So.
I think they did it on Mythbusters where they like threw a hammer down to like see if you break the water to see if it like cuts into your impact. And I don't think it made much of a difference.
Didn't make a little.
I don't remember if it did or not. It's one of their earlier episodes, and I haven't seen it in probably like 20 years. But so anyway, but I guess tonight is the Game Awards. I didn't watch it. I don't think Landon watched it, but I think Will was keeping up with some of the news. So go ahead and impart your knowledge on the Game Awards to us and all of our listeners, Will.
Yeah, so the Game Awards happens once every year. It's basically a one giant advertisement at this point rather than an actual award show. But
isn't that every award show?
Well, I mean, kind of. But there was, Anyway, I'll just do a quick recap of all the awards.
I was supposed to present this year, but
the most awards.
Landon was still sick.
Yeah, I'm still sick. I stepped down.
I'm pretty sure that the game that won the most awards was Alan Wake 2, I think. No, or it might have been Baldur's Gate 3, but it was either Baldur's Gate 3 or Alan Wake 2. But Baldur's Gate 3 won Game of the Year. Alan Wake 2 won Best Narrative and Best Direction. So those are kind of the three biggest titles, honestly.
Can't believe Baldur's Gate didn't get Best Narrative.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised.
With how much writing is probably in that game. Like,
there's like, I don't know, the dude who won Best Actor is in Baldur's Gate 3. He plays Astarion, and he said there were 240 actors in that game.
I remember looking at the, I think it was IMDb because they have video games, but looking at the cast list one day because I wanted to find a voice actor for one of the characters, and I was scrolling forever. And you know how like a lot of video games, you're like you voice 5 or 10 characters or whatever. I think there still was a lot of people who voiced a lot of characters, but there are so many characters in the game that the amount of voice actors, it is staggering how many are in that game.
Like 240.
It's crazy. I think Skyrim had like 7 people.
Well, see, and one thing, I actually really like how that works in Baldur's Gate 3 because in things like Skyrim or in like Fallout, you get sometimes those characters, you're like, oh, this is that same guy's voice from that other town, but there's just a little twang on it, and like you can tell right away, and it kind of takes you out of it sometimes.
It does, yeah.
And a lot of RPGs do that, and that's understandable because budgetary issues and stuff. It's easier to get one guy to do 10 voices than 10 people.
Yeah, well, in a world where capitalism drives us all forward and games have to make a profit,
But it was very appreciated in Baldur's Gate because there weren't those moments where you're like taken out of essentially the story, like you're not unimmersed, I guess, because there is so much variety in the characters and the voices, and you're not like, oh, this is that one tiefling I saw a couple towns ago that's just the same voice.
I think so far it's another great thing about its voice acting is I'm not like, oh man, that was Nolan North, that was Troy Baker. Like it doesn't have like the same three like what's her name?
Laura Bailey.
Not
there's anything wrong. All those people are really talented, but like
fantastic. But I'm just tired of hearing like the same three actors over and over again in the leads, and they're super talented, but it's like it's honestly gotten to the point where, like Dave said, it takes me out of the game when I hear the same voice actors over and over again for every single character. It's like if Tom Hanks played every single role you could possibly imagine, like in every movie.
He played six roles.
Are you taking shots at Polar Express?
Yeah, he played six characters in Polar Express, didn't he?
Oh, I will not allow any hate towards that movie.
I mean, Baldur's Gate had some high-profile voice actors, though. I mean, they have J.K. Simmons. There's
I didn't know that.
Oh, I mean, well, you'll get to his voice actor or his character. Who else? The bad guy from the Patriot, Harry Potter.
Oh, Jason Isaacs.
Malfoy.
Yes,
Malfoy.
Yeah,
Jason Isaacs. It's Jason Isaacs.
Yeah, he's
tell me
he
plays a villain. He's like such a good villain.
He plays
a
devil or a demon.
Oh,
A devil. He plays a devil.
I've come across him. That's him.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you can hear it, right?
Yeah, he just randomly popped up, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Or he's so evil in The Patriot. Oh my god, he's a good actor. I like him a lot.
I think that movie's overrated, but
shut up. Aim small, miss small.
But that's about it for like awards. There really wasn't much. Really wasn't a huge like upset or anything. Everything went as predicted. And then for game announcements, there was a new Monster Hunter game, new Hideo Kojima game, new God of War Ragnarok DLC that takes place after the main story, which Dave has not finished the main story.
Yeah, I still need to beat the main story.
So that's going to be interesting because I don't want to say much about that, but it's going to pick up in an interesting place. They also, Bethesda and Arcane are making a Blade video game, Marvel's Blade. They announced that.
What team from Bethesda?
Arcane Studios. Dishonored and Deathloop.
That's kind of disappointing in my opinion. I'd rather have them like make something not a property.
Well, I mean, wasn't their last new property
Redfall?
So
yeah,
Game
is
of the
that
Year
really like
contender Redfall?
That's like, I feel like that wasn't like, was that actually Arcane or was it
there
like,
might have been two Arcane. There might be two Arcane teams if I'm going to be honest.
Because that came out super fast after Deathloop. Like, there's no way they turned that game around and like, I don't know, that had to like a B team or something. Like,
there's Arcane Lion and Arcane Austin. Arcane Austin is who made Redfall. Arcane Lion is who made Deathloop. So there's two different teams.
Yeah.
Is it Lion or is it Leon?
Leon. Whoopsies. I saw Lyon and I was like, oh, the city of Lion. And then I saw Leon, France.
I was like, I'm pretty sure that's a French team. And I was like, I
love Arcane's art style in their games. I just like, my brain doesn't know how to like handle them. Like, it makes me sad.
But I mean, you've liked a fair amount of their games, haven't you? Or some of them?
Yeah, I've only beaten Dishonored 1. That's the only game I've beaten that they've made.
Well, there's Dishonored, Dishonored 2, Prey, and Deathloop are pretty much their only games besides.
I've played all of
Redfall.
them. I've played them to certain amounts. I played like probably 2/3 of Dishonored 2. I only played Deathloop for a few hours, and I played Prey for maybe 5 or 8.
I like Deathloop. I actually like Deathloop a lot, but it's a lot more linear than I would have liked if I remember, like with what I remember. It's actually pretty like
play more Prey. Like that.
Prey is dope. Like,
yeah.
Prey would have like, I feel like younger Landon would have been all over Prey. Like older, like mind melting Landon, like who's barely grasping onto like
reality.
Like I can barely play. Like Spider-Man 2 is about as, that's very simple. My mind's very simple. I used to enjoy the more complex games, and now I just,
Landon, I don't think Prey is that more complex than Spider-Man 2. Like
it is though. It is. It's complex.
I mean, like the enemies hide. That's about it.
I'll put my gloves on again when The Witcher 4 comes out. I'll suit up and try to.
That's what you say.
Save face. But I want to play Cyberpunk too, also. But I just such a big game.
Speaking of really important games that got announced, there really wasn't else much at the Game Awards that got announced that was really interesting. I mean, some DLC for like God of War and some Final Fantasy 16 stuff, but other than that, pretty much nothing was super interesting. I want to talk about though a new trailer released early. Somebody leaked it early, which is really ironic. But for Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yes.
Did anybody watch the trailer?
I did watch the trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't show a ton. It just kind of was like clips of stuff, but I mean, it looks fun. Like, I'm excited for
Oh,
it. But
it's gonna, yeah. I'm such a sellout for Rockstar though. Like I'm hyped. Like it's gonna be so good. Like
You'll do what, Landon?
I'll do what?
Oh, never mind.
I'll
I thought
sell
you were gonna
out.
say something. Oh, okay.
No, I'm a sellout.
You're a sellout. All right.
for those listening, we had to cut out what Landon said because it was too controversial.
Yeah, I said
so.
some vile
Yeah.
things.
But yeah, I watched it. I still have not completed a Grand Theft Auto campaign, and I think that is going to change before 2025. So
You got to play 5. 5 is exceptional.
I mean, 5 is the only GTA campaign I've played, but
Same.
I mean, it's a great campaign. The story is excellent, and the characters.
The story.
Are super
I might
engrossing.
play it. I might play it again before 6 because like the writing is so in depth and it is like it's so funny. Like that's like I feel like video games. There's not enough funny video games, and that game is hysterical. Like,
I think Sidetrack, that's one
So
reason
good.
I've really liked, especially the older Ratchet and Clank games, is because they were really funny games. The recent ones, I would say not as much. That's not as much of a focus. But the original games, and I'd say even the PlayStation 3 games, like those were comedic games through and through, and that was their intention. And they're just like really funny. So like, yeah, I would agree though. I think there's that's not like a genre of game, right? Like, like what do you like? Oh, I like first person
Should be,
shooters.
though.
What do you like? I like comedies. I mean,
it should be
it's more
like
of like
I don't know.
it's more like a secondary, like I guess, genre for a game. But yeah, like it's not a thing really, is it?
No, like I'm trying to think of other games that are kind of funny. Like there's those South Park games which I've meant to play, which I've heard of, but that's just like South. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like independent property. Like I really can't think of any. There's like gag games like the Stanley Parable's hilarious, but like
I'm thinking stuff like, well, I mean, like the Portal games are pretty funny.
Borderlands.
Borderlands
is pretty funny. There's not many though. Days Gone actually pretty funny.
But
ironically funny and ironic. I wish you guys would play it, man. It's like the most like off the wall story. I think it's so poor. Like the developers of the game were so mad they didn't get a sequel, and I'm like, did you guys like play your own game? Like it's so bad. Like,
they didn't read what they wrote in the script. They were just like
the script is, like
they
it's
were
insane.
cooking.
Like I believe the game sold well, but I'm like, you guys really like Sony games? Like if you look at all like the Sony pillar, like their story games that are pretty good, and like Days Gone is like laughably moronic, like so bad. Like I derailed it from GTA 6. My bad.
It's okay. I was shooting. Never mind. Forgot what I was gonna say.
So the trailer looked cool. I heard that like all the stuff shown was in-game footage. I believe I heard that from someone.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, it sounds like there were some shots that I was like, man, this looks crazy, like insane.
Yeah.
Like the graphics look insane.
I bet it's gonna look fantastic. I mean, Red Dead 2 looked fantastic at PS4,
and that was
I mean,
2018,
GTA.
right?
Yeah, and that looked. I bet I would imagine Red Dead 2 still holds up pretty good. And GTA 5 when it came out was really good looking. I mean, we play that game now and it looks pretty crappy, but you got to remember that game came out in like 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
10 years ago.
Yeah, so it'll be 12 years, and I mean, I would imagine. I mean, they have so much money to pour into this game too that
Well, it's gonna make like
I would imagine
like just an unseemly amount of
So-
money.
I bet the game costs. I would imagine the game's going to cost to make it. I bet it costs over $500 million to make. And I would imagine it makes every penny. And I bet it's profitable within 24 hours. Would be my assumption. I bet it's going to sell so many. Like I bet within a weekend it's going to make. Because didn't Red Dead 2 make $1 billion in a weekend? Wasn't like a thing.
And
Yeah,
you mean
like-
you
I
think
don't-
it's gonna sell over 500 million? Because like for it to be profitable, it has to sell quite a bit more. Than
More,
that.
yeah.
But,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was going to say it's going to
um,
make back its budget. I'm pretty sure like its
I-
opening week, like its first weekend on the market. Like,
I think Red Dead. I know it didn't make $1 billion in profit, obviously, but it made like $1 billion in net.
$1 billion sales or whatever. Yeah,
Sorry, not $1 billion net in gross. I think.
gross.
I think that's the term where you're not including like expenditures and all that kind of stuff. But I think you're totally right, Landon. I would agree with you. I think it's gonna like skyrocket to the. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 has been in the top like 20 something video games per month sold for a really long time. It might have gotten dethroned recently, but yeah, it's like 10 years, and it's just gonna keep everybody's the YouTube video. I think got what was it? It broke records for the most viewed video in 24 hours or something like that.
People are hyped for it. It's gonna sell.
Yeah.
So I just googled Red Dead 2. Its estimated cost between development and marketing. Red Dead 2 cost between $370 million and $540 million to make.
Yeah.
GTA 6 is going to be
way
more than that to make. So
yeah.
But
especially
I mean, they're making
with how long it's been development.
Oh yeah, but that GTA 5 still charts in the sales charts every month. Like
yeah.
It's in the top 20. Like I'm pretty sure like as of like about a year ago, it was still charting like every.
It was like top 10, right?
Yeah. I just said that like no, I just said that like 60 seconds ago.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I was looking at
the... Hey, Will.
I'm sorry.
We don't listen to the things you say. Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah. That's my bad. I was googling the thing. I did.
No, you're good
for a second. So.
You're good. Yeah, it's insane how much the legs on Grand Theft Auto 5 are insane.
Landon, the legs on Grand Theft Auto 5, it's insane.
Stop.
It's insane. So
I don't like what you repeat back to me what I say because I'm like, man, like that sounds stupid, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I said that.
Man, that sounds stupid.
So did it just said 2025, right? No definitive.
So we both know or all three of us know it's gonna be in like 2027, like early 2027.
I would say like
probably.
maybe spring 2026. That's my guess.
Your guess?
Yeah. Hey, and I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Like whatever.
I'm fine with it either way. I think they might hit this release though. Like
I mean, 2025 is technically 2 years out. Like they could push it out December 2025, and they still.
I would imagine it's like
I would
imagine it's like fall or winter 2025 would be my guess. Like
it's weird that they're announcing stuff for 2025, like and just be like, oh, 2025 when it's like, oh man. I remember when games were getting announced for 2023, and that was like 2 or 3 years ago, and it just feels so weird to have it announced in 2025.
I thought games were supposed to take less time to make because we're in the future now. Why is it taking, 13 years or 12 years to make a sequel?
Well, Dave, there's something called money. And why would you make a new game when your old game is still printing money? Literally printing money, pretty much.
When you just crap out like dumb DLC every once in a while, and then
a steaming pile of Grand Theft Auto Online crap, and it's just like
people are just spending hundreds of dollars in shark cards.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. Talk about like. I'm actually surprised they didn't do some sort of like try to create an economy like WoW. Like WoW has its own economy, right, Dave? World of Warcraft.
Well, I mean, but doesn't GTA have as well?
I mean,
do you mean like how you can't like give currency to someone else, or
yes, kind of like that, where there's a
like a market,
yeah,
because WoW and I would say most MMOs have like a market where you can. Yeah, exchange
like the value of the gold.
Crazy if you could sell your cars and stuff. Like I don't know. I think the story's going to be good. Like I don't know much about it. It's just that like you play like a couple, like a criminal couple. It seems like they're kind of like down on their luck. Like
yeah,
it seems like it might be like less like high stakes heists and more like gritty. But maybe I don't know. I'm sure there'll be like more high scales, like high stakes stuff later in the game. But
I imagine so. I mean that's kind of what it's been like in previous games. I mean like because you're playing Trevor in. Or Trevor's probably not even the best example. Franklin, like he starts out kind of he's just a dude, and like by the end of it, he's on like $100 million heists basically. So it's like I could see, I could see like something similar in GTA 6. Yeah. But I would. The thing I've probably talked about this on the show before, but I just want to see the map. I want to know what the map looks like, because we know it's going to be like basically. It's Vice City, which is Miami, but like, will they have like a Tampa Bay, like version, or like I guess equivalent, or like an Orlando? I don't think they did.
That's just I think they did. That is the most like Dave thing ever, though, to want to see a map in like a game where he's like, oh man, not excited for the gameplay, not excited for the I just want to see the map.
It's true. Like that's what I'm. And same with like Witcher 4, like. The thing I'm most excited about, like I guess news wise or anything, would be seeing what the world map is like.
I can agree with that. I feel like all those games, like GTA 5, The Witcher 3, and Red Dead 2, they came with like maps in the like
and their in-game maps, like their worlds are excellent. They're great, and being able to like see those. I I guess, and like see it yourself like outside of the game has always been really fun for me.
It reminds me of that moment in Breath of the Wild when you like get done with the Great Plateau.
Oh yeah.
And then you start like you get access to the map, and then you start zooming out,
and you're like
and zooming out, and you're like, oh man, like what I thought was big is actually like a tiny, just compressed area of the map that doesn't even begin to cover anything. Yeah, so I get what you're saying.
That reminds me, I need to play the other Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it either yet. This is the first time I think I've played a Zelda game and not finished it within like a very short amount of time.
I bought it in like June. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, same. I bought it in May, and I played it. I played about half of it, but it's hard to, like I'd rather finish Baldur's Gate 3 than like finish Tears of the Kingdom, just because it's so familiar in some ways.
Yeah.
Do you guys think so? I've only played GTA 5, and that game is like, I mean, there's some serious stuff, but like we said, it's like highly satirical, like highly comedic. Do you guys think this one's going to be the same? Like, not
I would imagine so.
More serious, because I haven't played the other ones. I don't know if they're all highly satirical and like kind of like
they're all highly satirical from what I've seen. I haven't played technically all the other ones, but I've seen some pretty funny moments from the rest of them. Landon, what's going to be interesting though is that those two writers have left Rockstar. So I wonder
was it the Hauser brothers? Is that their? I think it was the Hauser brothers.
I think so. Wrong. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of impact that has on Grand Theft Auto 5.
I'm nervous. I'm a little nervous, but like my hype's still there. But I am a little nervous.
Yeah, I mean,
when did they leave? Do they have any creative input on GTA 6?
I would imagine they would have had to. I think they left. I want to guess like within a year of Red Dead 2 coming out. I think they both left. So
did
that
they
would have been like 2019.
Their own thing, or?
I believe they branched. I think at least one of them's like opening like a smaller team. I don't know if he's still with 2K, but
I feel like everybody's starting their own company nowadays.
Well, that's like even like when Ken Levine left. What was his
Irrational?
Studio? Yeah, when they shuttered Irrational, like he like took some people and started up a new team. I think he's still under the 2K umbrella. His new game I think comes out next year.
The BioShock
esque game. Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Judas I think is what it's called. I'm stoked for that. Like there's like very few games that actually get me excited these days, and like that and like GTA 6 are probably like the only two. Maybe the Wolverine game from
you love BioShock, right?
Oh yeah. BioShock and BioShock Infinite are probably like I probably like those games more than The Last of Us, probably. Like,
really?
If not more than like equivalent. Like I think like the world building. The world building in BioShock is better than The Last of Us. I feel like the actual like.
I liked The Last of Us games, but I didn't have that attachment that I think the two of you had. So, like to me, that's not a controversial statement. Especially the first BioShock. The first BioShock, I think is my favorite one, and that's probably like a top 10 game for me. I think.
Oh, BioShock's. It's got to be top 5. Man, Infinite and BioShock are top 5.
I just like a lot of games, so I'm not trying to limit myself, because people are like, oh, what's he pushing out of the 5?
I only like 7 games.
What are you pushing out of the 5?
Prototype 2.
Oh, no.
Not Prototype 2.
I have not played any of those games, so they might be good. I don't know. Well, it's you, Landon, you saw The Marvels.
Saw The Marvels.
In theaters?
I
mean, or
in
I
theaters,
guess
yeah.
That's the only place to see it, right?
In the cinema. I went and saw with Aubrey. Aubrey's was a big Captain Marvel fan.
You said was?
I was not a huge. No, I was just saying because she is a big Captain Marvel fan. Okay. Sorry, Dave.
Good.
So she really wanted to go see the Marvels, which I did not have. I did not like Captain Marvel very much. Mick and I had like a very poor. I don't know if like having a normal theater experience would have salvaged the movie for me, but like Mick and I had like
it wouldn't have. It wouldn't
but
have.
Mick and I had probably Mick and I probably had a bottom 3 movie theater experience, I would say, together watching Captain Marvel. We went to like a local like Wandermere theater. And I remember we went there. We probably told the story on the show.
Yes, you've told the show or told the story I think multiple times. But
okay,
go ahead,
well,
Landon. Tell it again.
We showed up and there was like an aisle roped off, and Mick and I look at each other and we're like, oh, like I wonder if there's like something wrong with like this, like maybe there's like a seat that's like damaged or something, like danger. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't like let's just sit in the row in front of that, and we'll have like nobody behind us. and like it's fine for like it's like right about the credits about to like or the trailers about to start, and like I don't know, like 25 like 9-year-olds come in and just like shuffle into the entire row behind us for some like birthday party. There's only like 2 adults. There were 2 adults and they just sat on either end, and Mick and I are in the middle. And this like kid just there's like kicking the back of our seats. Like one kid's like rubbing Mick's head like the whole movie. Like, so it's like just I mean it was horrific. It was a horrific theater experience. We left like angry, mad, like so I like bad memories associated with that movie. But regardless, we want to go see a movie. We actually hadn't. We've been dating for like 4 or 5 months now, and we hadn't like gone to a movie yet together, which is like I feel like a staple like date is to go to a movie. So we're like, all right, we should go to a movie, and we went and saw it, and I thought it was decent. I don't think it's like a great movie. There was like some pacing issues, like, but I thought it was funny. There was like some of the joke stuff landed. There's like the cat thing. That's actually like a monster.
What cat?
I think that thing's funny.
Thing?
There's like a cat. It's like what scratches Nick Fury's eye out. That's why he has the eye patch.
Oh, is that something
There's this
they
like
show
cat
in the first Captain Marvel?
Have you not seen Captain Marvel?
I have not.
Whoa.
Oh, you haven't? Oh,
Brianna told
Okay.
me not to watch it, so I have not watched it.
oh.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, you just play. Yeah, you just like blaming your wife.
Yep.
Passing the
The boss
excuses.
just.
There's a cat that like also like it looks like just like an orange cat, but like it actually is some kind of alien monster. So like it can like its mouth like morphs into some like huge alien thing and like eats things. So like they play that for some comedic laughs in the new film. But basically the film follows Captain Marvel. What's the gal's name from WandaVision? Like the agent. She gets like powers at the end of it.
Yeah, what's her name?
Is it Monica? Monica Rambeau?
Rambo.
Yes, Monica Rambeau. Stars her, and then the girl from the Disney Plus show that I didn't watch, Miss Marvel. Yeah. And I guess like they all have like similar powers, so that's why they're all in this one together. And combined with a cat and Ms. Marvel, I found like really endearing. Like her character is like I actually thought was like really funny and like kind of charming.
Well, I heard her show is pretty good. I haven't seen it, but
Yeah.
I'm also really
Like,
I
she
haven't
brought, like-
seen the new Loki either.
I've only seen one episode of Loki. I heard it was good though, like the rest of it. So I'll have to try to catch up.
Did they finish it?
Thumbs up for me. Yeah.
So I thought those characters like helped kind of carry the show. I still don't like. I like Brie Larson, all right, as an actress. Like I wasn't like crazy on her as Captain Marvel. Is still like is a little bit. It was like a little bit better, but it still like didn't like. And I don't know. Marvel movies action is okay, and the villain was. I actually thought the villain was like pretty poor. If I'm gonna be honest, like
What?
the villain was like.
In a Marvel, movie? No. That never
It was like-
happens. Ever.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. The pacing was kind of all over the place. Like, yeah, it was a weird movie. I had an enjoyable time. I think Aubrey thought it was decent. I'm actually, I'm gonna be honest, I'm like kind of struggling to remember. I think a lot of what happened. I only saw it a couple weeks ago. So,
Was it just a forgettable movie?
yeah, there was nothing in it that was like criminally horrific, and there was nothing in it that was like keep raising your eyebrows
What?
at me.
I'm sorry. Keep talking, Landon.
There was nothing like horrible. I can't focus when you're like doing that. It was just I feel like a standard like middle of the road Marvel movie. Like it was very like it was enjoyable to watch. Like I had like some sour Skittles while I was watching it. I mean,
So you remember the
I
sour
would probably-
Skittles, but like
yeah. I mean, I can't. I'm trying to think if there's any significance for like the greater. I think it was like pretty standalone. I think actually for the most part, I don't think there was anything super connecting, which actually is kind of refreshing. I mean, if you really like watching all the Marvel movies, I'd say watch it. Or if you were a fan of Captain Marvel, or if you were a fan of Rambo, or actually, you know what? There was a post-credit scene. Actually, set up some interesting stuff with like. I'll just say it. I'm just gonna, like it set up some stuff with the X-Men in the post-credit scene. So.
Finally.
Some more multiverse type stuff. So if you like that, and then the Miss Marvel character was pretty funny, and her family's entertaining.
Are you gonna
too,
watch her
so.
show now?
If I get time, like I'm like pretty behind on like a few things. But I did watch some other. If you guys down to hear more superhero stuff, I watched 2 other superhero shows on Amazon Prime. I watched through all of Gen V, the boys spinoff, and I would highly recommend that show. If you like the boys, you should just. I don't want to get into too much spoilery stuff, but like I feel like you should probably watch it before.
But what
the
if
new
you're
season
Will
comes
and
out,
you
would be-
refuse to watch The Boys?
I don't have Amazon
Because
Prime.
it's just
I'm sorry.
too.
That's
Because
a
it's,
lie. That's a
because
flat
it's-
out lie.
Because it's too
What?
evil for you.
What?
Because it's too evil. Yeah. Or if
Dude,
you're Mick and you decide it's too evil every like in between each season, and then you eventually won't watch it anyway.
If I was at the login screen for Amazon Prime, I would not be able to enter a username and password. I'm just saying that.
Your parents password locked their Prime account. Like,
What? No, they
Bro.
just haven't told me it.
I
I've
do
never
plan.
asked.
I do plan on watching it because of your recommendation. Not to be mean to Oliver, but he talked about it in our Discord, and it didn't make me want to watch it any more than I had already planned. Actually, and it made me think like, this probably isn't that great of a show. But then Landon said it was good, and I was like, okay, I'll check it out.
it's not as good as the boys, but it's like I would say it's like it's not that much worse. It's just that there's new characters, but are they all new?
Okay. I assume the other show you're going to talk about is Invincible Season 2, which I forgot
Invincible,
I
yeah,
also have started. I think I'm 3 or 4 episodes in.
Which is all that's out. There's only 4 episodes out. The other 4 come out next year. So
Maybe I'm 3 episodes in then.
so you've seen 3.
There was
Episode
big
3
stuff
is
that
like
happened
in episode 3.
at the end of
It. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the pacing in episode 3 is like whack. It's like all like
Oh yeah, because that's the
it's
one that
kind of
has like it brings back that one dude, the Seth Rogen
Yeah.
character, and yeah.
yes, yep, yeah. So I've watched the 4 episodes. I won't say too many I'll keep it pretty light on spoilers. It wasn't getting me, and I'm still skeptical, but I was not digging it too much after the first 2 episodes. I still liked it, but I'm like, I don't know if I like the direction the show's going in.
I was a
don't-
little
I guess-
confused
Will, have you-
by your comment because I wasn't sure what you meant by that. Because I finished the first 2 episodes and I was like, "Oh, this is good. Like, I wonder where it's going." But the way you had said your stuff made it sound like that the first 2 episodes was setting up something just totally weird or totally like out of left field.
Like I was getting worried. Okay, I'm just gonna say some stuff. Will hasn't. I won't. I'm not gonna be super detailed, but like it seems like it's going like for Invincible. It seems like it's going like a multiverse route. Also, right?
Well, I think that was more just like this type of villain has like those type of powers, but sorry, Landon was having some technical difficulties.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm back.
But I feel like that was resolved for the most part just in that first episode because I think it kind of closed all that. But it's essentially
No, but they keep showing stuff though. Like in episode 2, they have more of that.
I mean, the one guy has like the one portal powers, but
yeah. So that's what I was like. I wasn't sure if they were going to keep going heavy on that, like throughout the show. Like
even if they do something like that, though, I mean, I feel like the writing in season 1 was so good that like they would do it right. Would be my
that would be my guess.
Trust is what Dave's saying. Trust.
Yeah,
they're following like the comic too. So I'm pretty sure. So which I haven't read. So I'm guessing,
I have
like, what are
no
they doing with
knowledge
the source?
of.
I don't know where it's going or anything.
Is it
so
Robert?
like I think I think it is Robert Kirkman.
Maybe I should read the comic.
Yeah. So it's like one of those things where like I think, and I was probably only like it was mostly maybe just like a fatigue because like I'm just getting off of like
Multiverse
Marvel's. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like Marvel's doing a bunch of it, and then like all like the like not only with just Marvel, but then like the Spider-Man movies or like the new like animated Spider-Man movies are big on that, and then it's this, and I was like, oh, like I hope it's not going to get like super convoluted. So I'm hoping that they keep it like I would like it if they kept it mostly in that main, you know what I mean, the main universe. If that does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I guess I was just a little skeptical, but like I'm planning on going back, but there's some time between like the second half of the season's going to be released. I think next year. I think I'm going to go back and rewatch season 1 and then rewatch the first 4 of season 2 again. Because once I hit like episode 3 and it was like further away from that, I'm like, oh, I think that was just like a super powered character. I'm like, okay, like I'm back on path, like where it's tracking.
Mm-hmm.
And episode 3 and 4 are like really good in my opinion. So
It's always fun to see Seth Rogen in a character where he's not like this like total dope.
I like it. His character's really good.
Yeah. Like I don't know if did you ever watch Freaks and Geeks?
No.
Okay.
No,
His
I
character
haven't
is
seen
kind of like that too, where it's like he's sort of funny, but he's not like
It's not Seth Rogen.
No, yeah, and he's not like annoying either. But I mean, if you haven't seen it, then you wouldn't understand. But
I'll have to check it out at some point.
Brie and I are rewatching it again. We probably watch that show like maybe once a year, just because there's the one season. And I think it's both of our like one of our favorite shows of all time.
Does it like end? Or is it like just basically like a cliff like hanger? Like,
well, I mean, it's one season of like a comedic kind of drama show.
That's sad that like it just like
It got canceled before the last episode even aired.
Yes,
if I remember correctly.
there was like I think 6 episodes or so that they didn't air. But if you haven't seen, like I've probably said this on the show many times, if you haven't seen it, I would extremely recommend that, especially for like just the amount of stars that are in that show that you see as young as they are. It's crazy to see how many people that were like even just small cast members for one episode went on to be huge names. And it's pretty much every single episode it's like that. And even like the entire, I'd say pretty much the entire main cast all went on to be essentially huge stars. So it's fun. It's funny to like revisit the show every year or so just to like kind of go back to see like what these people were like when they were younger. But I think also the acting is some of the best. I mean they're not like really kids. A lot of them are like maybe teenagers or early 20s, but the acting is phenomenal. And it's a period piece too, so takes place in the 1980.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, and it's like 18 episodes, and that's it. and then you'll finish it. You'll finish it, and you'll be like, I can't believe like they didn't make 100 more episodes of this show. Like it's
probably just it probably just like
so,
it was probably just right. It was before its time, right? Like
absolutely,
probably would have thrived.
Yeah,
like,
and the show feels like it could have been made today. Like it's really
that's so sad.
It's really depressing, but like that's part of what makes me like the show so much is that it was so good and there's not a lot of it, so like I like to revisit it pretty much once a year, and it's such a great show, man. You should watch that before you watch anything else, Landon.
Yeah, okay, maybe. I feel that way, like not like I don't want to talk about it too much because like I've probably talked about this. Like I feel that way about Hannibal.
Yeah,
like, I know
except Hannibal got a lot more episodes than Freaks and Geeks did.
Yeah,
Hannibal's
I mean
really
it got a decent, it got a really good run, but like it was like one of those shows that like you like watch it and you're like, this aired on NBC, like. You're like, how? And like, why was it on NBC? Like, but like, if it was made now and it was like a Prime or HBO show or something, like, it probably would have done really well.
Yeah.
I think I got 4 seasons.
AMC.
I think it got 3 or 4 seasons, I think.
I think it was 3? It was 3 seasons and there was like a weird short 4th season, right? Is that how that worked? Or was it 2 regular seasons and then a weird short 3rd season?
I can't remember.
Anyway, whatever it was still not enough. Like, but it was 3 seasons. So yeah, dang.
It was so good. I'll rewatch that at some point. That show's gnarly.
And anyway, you should watch Freaks and Geeks.
Freaks and Geeks. Yes. I'll rewatch Hannibal.
And I think Will would like it too. Have you seen it, Will?
I've seen a few episodes of Freaks and Geeks.
Okay. It seems like a show that would be like right.
I love the show.
Okay.
I've loved what I've seen of the first few episodes. I just like anything. I just, you get around to it, you start watching it.
Will starts watching. He's like, wait a minute, I don't watch TV shows.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, I have to stop. Yeah. Like, even though I'm really enjoying this. But I'll watch thousands of hours of anime. Anyway, next topic.
I've watched more TV than anime.
I've been clean for. I am always surprised that Will doesn't watch more TV shows.
I think it's
where all the best writing is. It's where all the best writing is.
I mean,
I know that's what Will loves great writing, and he does like.
I agree. Like, I 100% agree with you. It's just I think it's just easier for me to play games because there's just an interactive element to it.
So weird. I mean, I get it.
That's what keeps me from playing video games. I'm like,
yeah. It's like to me, like watching stuff is easier because there's not an interactive element. But hey, we're all different people, so. It's okay.
Just some have better preferences than others, right, Dave?
Different preferences. There's not a lot going on. I mean, like, anything you guys want to talk about before we wrap up? Landon's going to Leavenworth and
Leavenworth. I decorated I hung Christmas lights.
Brie and I hung Christmas lights. Will, did you hang Christmas lights?
I helped set up the tree in my house. So
no,
kind of.
I bought a new Christmas tree, a new fake one. I hated my old one because it had like fake snow on it that like would like glitter everywhere. Like
I wish Colby was here to talk about his tree,
His pencil tree.
his pencil tree that he had to return. So
That picture he sent was so funny. Oh, man.
It was hilarious.
For reference, Colby bought a skinny Christmas tree on accident and then returned it.
Well, he says it was on accident, but I think he made a mistake. I don't think. Now maybe that's me not giving Colby the benefit of the doubt, which is one of my favorite things to do.
Oh yeah,
Colby's not going to remember that.
Yeah. This will be his test to see if he listens to the episode. So, I know I won't.
Yeah, we know. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap up tonight? Shorter episode.
I had an eggnog milkshake tonight. I'm actually still drinking it.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back.
Oh, sorry. Tired.
We'll be back later.
You're not even saying next week. You're like, yeah, we'll be back.
Yeah, we don't know.
We're on our holiday vacation.
I mean, we kind of are. So
yeah,
we've all been busy. It's the way it is. But anyway,
it's the most festive time of the year.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Hopefully, we'll squeeze another one of these out before Christmas. And if it's not, New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah, we will.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
We should have a Cruisemas episode.
Cruisemas.
Because
Merry Cruisemas.
Oh.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Hotkeys podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, CastBox, YouTube, and other podcasting platforms. Visit our website, www.hotkeyspodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at Hotkeys Podcast and join our Facebook group at facebook.com/HKHotkeys. Please like and review us and subscribe to the show on whichever platforms you use. Finally, you can contact us via email at hosts@hotkeyspodcast.com.